Hi everyone, welcome back to Java 1 for All. Continuing the journey about strings, we are going to talk about the collectors framework. So it's kind of framework inside the strings that will allow you to do several interesting stuff. And we are going to see this kind of stuff in the next and the next and the next video. So let's split this class in three about the collectors because it's a pretty extensive topic. Let's start by copying the light novels from string test08 and let's create a new class string test11 psvm, and right here you add your light novels. Okay, so I'm going to do the old way and the new way of several things so you can get used to the collect syntax. Let's say that you would like to get the size, the count of how many light novels you have. Well, if you are just counting, basically just call the size, not the string. But let's say that you were doing some filter and that kind of stuff. Well, on strings, you can use the count terminal operation to get the count of how many objects you have inside that string. How can we do the same thing with collectors? Basically, you call lightnovels.string and then you call collect. So far we have been using collect to list, but now we are going to see some other methods that we have available. For example, we have a class called collectors. It's like a utility class, and there are several methods there that will help us. For example, collectors.counting, and this one is going to do the count for us. So basically, you have to be careful because it doesn't necessarily mean that you can do it, that you should do it. There are better ways to do like this, and you just follow IntelliJ's warning to figure out which one is the best. Here we're just learning how it works. To get, for example, the max, novels dot string dot max, let's say price, comparator dot map max, comparator dot comparing, light novel get price, and then this is going to return optional. If present, just print this data. And how do we do it with strings? Light novels dot string dot collect, and from our utility class collectors we have the max by, and light novel get price, and the same thing here, collectors dot collect, collector dot max by, comparator dot comparing. We missed this one. And then if present, just print south. So as you can see, the readability is going down. So you can maybe put some breaking lines here to be able to understand, but for me it's difficult. Even though you are breaking the lines, it's still kind of difficult to read this. You have to wait a little while until your eyes get used to this line. So Ctrl Shift F10, we are interested in the results here, and they are exactly the same. So we have max by and you have min by. So we have max here and min here, minimum, maximum. Okay, let me get this back. I'll just leave this in one line. Always check the Git if you are confused. It will be branch 213, video 213. Okay, so how can we get the sum? Well, the sum is interesting because you already know how to do it. I hope you remember that when you are getting the sum of prices, since the price is primitive, you map directly to double, and then light novel get price dot sum. This is going to return a primitive double. I will just put this inside a print ln. And how do we do the same thing with collectors? Unfortunately, collectors will still wrap and unwrap the get price, so there's not much we can do there. So light novels dot string dot collect, and then from utility class collectors we have summing. So you have summarizing and you have summing double. Be careful. We are going to talk about this later. So summing double and the double that we would like to sum. So you can add salt to this one as well. Ctrl Shift F10, and you get exactly the same sum. And to get the average, same thing. Light novels dot string map to double. Light novels get price dot average. This is returning optional. So if present, salt. And fruit collectors, light novels dot string dot collect collectors, then dot averaging double. So we have averaging int long, same thing for summing. In this case we are working with double. So light novel get price, and here as you can see there is no optional, so we need to add this to a println. So this is returning wrapper double. Ctrl Shift F10. And we get the average price. So as you know, basically this is the syntax. You are going to be using the collectors utility class a lot, but there is a better way to do this math, especially if you are getting always the counting or the maximum, the minimum, the average. There is something in the collect framework that you already saw, is the summarizing. So let's call here collectors dot summarizing double. Now what is this going to do? This is going to return these double summary statistics, and look at what we have inside. We have everything that we have been doing so far. So in one object we have the count, we have the sum, we have the minimum, the average, and the max for the prices. So basically you could replace all of this with just one line. That's the power of the summarizing double. And of course, if you are working with int, you have summarizing int and you have summarizing long as well. And another cool one that I think that we have inside collectors is the joining. So let's say that I would like you to retrieve all the light novel titles in one string, comma separated. Well, we could do that the old way using for, but through collectors is pretty straightforward. So light novels dot string, we need only the title. So we first need to retrieve the titles, map light novel get title. This is going to return a list of strings containing all the titles. Actually, if we collect to list, this is going to return a string of string. If we are going to return to as list, this is what we can do. And here you have all the titles, but I want in one string, comma separated. Now we are going to remove this and also remove this. So I want to collect, but how? Collectors, and I would like to collect by joining. And if you just do this, it's going to return everything together with no separators between the titles. So I want to use separator, that's a comma and a space. Titles, and then we print these titles. So as you can see, we have all the titles, comma separated. It could be with a different token to have as a separator for the titles. But for me, one of the interesting things is that it doesn't add the separator at the end. If it's the last object, it's not going to add the comma or any other separator that you are adding to your joining. And if you ever had to do this manually, yeah, you always have to kind of do a little trick, figuring out with if if it's the last element. So this is the first part of the collectors framework. Now let's stop for now and continue in the next video. Bye.